Hello everyone, I am Samesh Shadar, and I am a developer with vast experience in Flutter and FlutterFlow. And today we will be discussing about FlutterFlow, which is one of the most powerful and successful no-code development tools. FlutterFlow is actually based on Flutter, which is a cross-platform framework. It means that we can develop apps for Android, iOS, web, etc. from a single code base. So it makes FlutterFlow one of the most powerful tools out there. So let's dive in and take a look at FlutterFlow. As soon as we log into the FlutterFlow account, we will be welcomed with this dashboard. So as you can see that there are multiple options over here like the projects, marketplace, my organization and resources. We will be discussing the marketplace and my organization later. So right now we'll be creating a new project over here. So let's click on create new and write the name of our project. We'll be writing tutorial and we'll be creating a blank application over here. Okay, so you need to skip this because we do not want to set up the Firebase right now. So we can start building the application. So we'll be starting the application from scratch and I'll be showing you each of the elements over here. So as you can see that there are multiple sections. These are the elements that can be used within the application. These elements are actually called widgets in FlutterFlow. The widgets are actually the building blocks of the application. So we'll be discussing these widgets briefly in the upcoming videos. So first of all, let's discuss about different sections. So this is the main UI builder over here. So we also have a widget tree, which means that whenever we add a new widget over here, for example, if we add a text over here, it will appear over here in the widget tree. So all the widgets will be arranged in a widget tree so we can easily understand the widgets and their positions. So after that, we can also see that there is a Firestore section. This is used to connect the Firebase with our application. So we'll be giving a overview of these sections. We'll be discussing them in detail in the upcoming videos. So we also have local state, which means that we can save the data within the application without the internet on the local storage. So there's a API section. We can connect different APIs with the applications as well. So this is the project media section. Here we can add different media for our projects like images or audios, etc. So in this section, there are custom actions, custom functions, and custom widgets. So we'll be briefly discussing these things in the future videos as well. So after that, we can see that there in the settings menu, there are different type of settings. There are general settings, project setup, app settings, in-app purchases, and integrations. So right now, let us get started with the application first. So as you can see that this is a Scratch application over here. So we will be starting off with a completely basic application. So first of all, we will need an app bar at the top. So let's add an app bar. As you can see that we have added an app bar on the application. So as you know, in other programming languages, the app bar lies at the top and it have multiple properties. We can set different properties of the app bar. Like we can add text over here. Let's add text into the center of the app bar. So we can write anything over here. Example application. And we can give it a color. We'll be giving it a white color over here. So as you can see that adding an app bar into the application is easy as that. So now what do we want with the application? We'll be creating a extremely basic application over here, which will be a counter app. So we'll be adding, first of all, we'll be adding a row. And after that, we'll be adding a column inside the row. So as you can see that we can select different widgets from the widget tree. We'll be clicking the row and we'll set the alignment to the center, which means that all the widgets within the row will be centered in the row. So as you can see that the column is centered within the row, and now the column is vertical. So we also need to center the content within the column into the center. So for that we will be setting main axis alignment to center. So as you can see that the elements within the column will be in the center of the app. So let's add some text over here. So for example, we are adding content over here. Other than that, we'll also be adding another text over here. We'll be setting this text later on. So now what do we need to do? Now we'll be adding a new value into local state, which will be named as counter. The type of the counter will be integer, and we'll be creating this counter. So as you can see that we have created a property and set its value to 0. So now we will set the text value set from variable. So right now the value is directly set it over here, but we'll be setting it from a variable. So click on set from variable, click on local state and click on counter. Click confirm. So as you can see that the value is now set from the counter. So now the value of the counter is 0 right now. So we'll add a floating action button over here in the application, and we'll also add an icon with a plus sign. We can add icons over here with plus sign, and we'll set the color of the floating action button icon to white. So as you can see that we have set it the icon button color to white, and we'll now adding a property to the floating action button. So as you can see that there is a section to add actions to the floating action buttons. These actions can be added to multiple buttons or text or anything that you want. So let's add an action to this button. So now we click on Flow Editor and add a new action. So what does this action does? So we need to update the value in the local state whenever we click the button. So we will write update local state and set the field. This is the field that we want to update. And what do we want to do with it? We want to increment the value. So we want to increment the value with 1. As you can see that it's also set it to 1. So click on close. So now whenever the plus button is being clicked, the value will be incremented over here. So now how to run this application? There are multiple ways to run the application. A single way is to run the application completely, but we can also run the application in test mode. So we will run the application in test mode because there are many benefits to it. So let's wait for the application to run. Okay, so as you can see that the application is running now, there are multiple things to consider. So let's take a look at the application first. So as soon as we click on the plus button, you can see that the value is incrementing. The local state is updating over here. So this is the most basic application. So in the upcoming videos, we'll be working on more complicated applications and we'll be building complete UIs for the applications. So another thing to notice is that this session will be expired in 10 minutes. It means that within the 10 minutes, if I make any change over here, for example, content, I change it to content of app and I click on reload button. So as soon as it reloads, the content will be updated and it will be renewed with the content of app. So as soon as we click on instant reload button, the content will be updated with the latest content over here. Okay, so this is the most basic application right now. So we'll be working on more complex application and beautiful UIs in the future. Take care. Goodbye.